Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, it's about 8:14 in the morning Pacific time. I wanted to come on here and uncut, unscripted, on the fly, give you my thoughts on this whole situation with Diamond Comics. Now, in case you guys don't know, Diamond Comics is a main distributor of a lot of comic books across many major and independent and minor publishers or publications. And they made the announcement that until this whole situation that we're currently in blows over, which I believe is going to be a lot sooner than expected, they are going to cease operations until at least, it looks like, around the summertime, which would mainly be around June, most likely July. Which means any new comics, individual comics, if you will, issues that were going to be sold physically will not be released. They will not be distributed to various comic book retailers across the land. That includes places like the comic book shops in New York, because of currently what they're going through here in California, comic book shops like in Denver, like Mile High, and many others. They will not be getting any new supply. Now, there will be new issues coming out, I think, in April. That's the thing. But afterwards, they will not be taking any orders for the newer stuff that would be out in May. They're not going to be doing that. Instead, they're going to hold off until, like I said, an indefinite period. And right now, from what I can read between the lines, that indefinite period is going to be between the summertime, which is like around June and July. As a matter of fact, Chris Ryall of IDW came out and said that between May 6th and the 28th of May, that things are going to be held off, things are going to be pushed back. So anything that you were hoping to see is not going to be seen until later on. Now, he did say that there are exceptions. I think he did say that there are exceptions to special event comics. I don't know if that means crossovers or anything, or that if that includes crossovers, because the one crossover a lot of fans have been looking forward to is this one of Transformers and My Little Pony in the crossover Friendship in Disguise. Now, if that does get pushed back, the most likely scenario, in my opinion, would be around June or July. And I think that would be great. Now, they could push it back even further to maybe even the time of the graphic novel. But I think with a lot of news going around lately about what's going to be happening economically, I mean, Trump, as I said in a previous video, basically said, hey, I want to get the economy, I want to get the country back up and running economically and such, by at least Easter. He wants to get it up and going by then. There's a lot of stuff coming out. There's even headlines saying that the U.S., like today, the U.S. Has been acknowledged as one of the countries out there that's really at a quick pace, really just shown that they are prepared for this. Like they're doing, going out there and doing things, right off the bat. Even though we're lacking supplies and everything in certain areas, it's like we are at the forefront to get this done. We're getting it done as quickly as possible. The other good news is finally both Democrats and Republican parties have agreed to pass and vote, most positively we're hoping, if not have already, on a $2 trillion, or if not $3 trillion, if not more so, stimulus package for everyone here in America. That includes individuals, families, small and big businesses, whatnot. Now, I say small businesses, and I bring this up because that's kind of what Diamond Comics is like. I mean, they're not a big major business, but they are a relatively good-sized business as being a distributor. So by having this announcement made and this bill, the stimulus package coming into realization very soon, if not sooner than we expect, I think Diamond Comics is going to come out. I think the president of Diamond Comics is going to come out and basically make the announcement that, okay, the stimulus package is going to help us. You guys can reopen if you choose to. That's what I'm thinking. So my point of view on this is, I think the whole comic book situation is going to be okay. I've heard what other people have said, like, Clownfish TV, and all due respect to them, because they can be very opinionated, if not right on the money with the very opinionated thoughts. And they know a lot of people on the inside of the business, mostly Disney and whatnot. But I've heard what they've said. I heard what Neon has said about, this being the nail in the coffin of the comic book business and the comic book industry. I think basically it's because of the fact that he looks at in my opinion, and Neon, if you're watching, it's all due respect, man. I said this with all due respect. I think he's looking more at the fact that people are gravitating more towards the digital perspective of comics instead of the physical, and by doing so, that's going to eliminate, the need of comic book shops and everything and retailers if everybody's just going to go digital. And he has a right, and he has a right to his opinion, because one of the more ways you can, one of the more ways you have access to new comics and material is through various apps. Amazon, IDW, Comixology, which is owned by Amazon, DC Universe, you name it. You have these, other options to get these new issues. So I can see where he's coming from. It's the same way, people like John Campy of the John Campy show, or John Campa of the John Campa show, basically feels about, physical media like Blu-ray and DVD and CDs and all that. Basically he's saying, look, Blu-ray and and DVD and 4K Ultra Blu-ray, whatever, they're going away. They're dying out, and everybody's focused more on streaming, more on digital. And again, he has a right to his opinion, and he works in the business, so he definitely has a stronger right to his opinion, because from someone that's worked in the business, he can kind of see something like that happening. But honestly, I don't think any of the physical stuff is going to be going away anytime soon. What they're doing, both Neon and John, what they're doing in their own individual podcasts and shows and videos, is they're just giving their opinion of how they see things progressing. Because here's the thing, I truly think and believe that they feel that the physical media of things, from comic books and movies and all that, they're still going to be around, but as time progresses, they're going to start to slowly fade out. Like, before you know it, you're going to go to a place like Walmart, where I work, and instead of seeing a physical copy of, let's say, Birds of Prey, you're going to see this little card that is now being sold anyway, that's basically good for either a 4K streaming, Blu-ray streaming, or whatever. That's basically what you're going to get. Basically that's what you're going to end up having to get instead of a physical copy, and that's what John's talking about. And again, I can see where he's coming from, I can see where Neon's coming from, but right now I don't think that's going to happen. Basically because I think what they're saying mostly is because of the economic situation we could be in, if not for the stimulus bill or package, that without the right finances, or enough finances behind them, physical retailers of comic books could be gone. And I just don't see that happening. I mean, right now, what I see mostly, and I said this in my other video, is people getting mixed signals. They don't know who to believe, what's going on. They're not getting a straight answer. So that's what's confusing them. But as far as the comic book genre is concerned, the physical media of it, I don't think it's going to be going away anytime soon, because the president of Diamond Comics did implore a lot of people to go out and support the local retail comic book shops. And there are a lot of retail comic book shops that are still open amidst this whole situation that we're currently in. Some even in the hardest hit areas around them. Even if the state is not fully on, watch or whatever you want to call it, lockdown, whatever, they still have comic book shops that are still open, even in areas that have reported, new cases once in a while, every now and then. Here in California and in New York, I guarantee there's comic book shops open, but they're doing what they can to adhere to the rules. Like they're doing drive-by service, they're doing pickup service, or if they're keeping open by trying to say, hey, we are kind of essential, or trying to work around that. They're basically allowing only a certain amount of people to get into the store. Like instead of like 50 or 25 people, we can only do 5 or 10, and that's it. So, and we need you to, and they probably are going to say, hey, we just need 5 or 10 in here right now because of what's going on, and please can you space out so there's no compromise. Again, that's just an opinion of that's just my opinion of what I see. What I can probably believe going on, that there are comic book shops across the nation that are doing that. Whether the areas are hit, whether the states, regions of the states are really hit hard of what's going on or not. I could see that going on because they want to try to make some kind of a buck here and there. So I see comic book shops still being around, and this is what the president of Diamond Comics was saying. He's saying, look, if you can go out and support these local businesses, it'd be great. We would be really grateful if you did this, and went out and buy the physical copies. There is reports going around. There is now with this announcement, a lot of comic book publications, like I said, IDW and such, are coming out and working around that by saying, okay, for the time being, we'll waive the non-fee returnable stuff. If you don't like a thing, you just go ahead and return them, no problem. Stuff like that. And by the way, if you still want to order, you can order, but you can only order certain back issues and back orders and graphic novels and all that. Because like I said, the newer stuff is going to be kind of in suspended animation, withheld, if you will, for at least a month and a half. Again, the timeline looks like it's going to be around June, maybe mostly July. So we can see what they do from there. But again, I don't think this is going to be the end. I think Diamond Comics is going to bounce. I think Diamond Comics, they're going to reopen. They're going to reopen their business, reopen their distribution. A lot of comic book retailers, depending on how the size of their, store, they're going to be okay. Marvel, DC, IDW, they're going to be fine. But like I said, Marvel, DC, Archie, IDW, Vertigo, and all of them, they're going to be fine. The only downside is a lot of the newest issues, especially the issues that are conclusions to certain story arcs, like Sonic's Zombot, like the Zombot arc, the Zombie Robot arc, or whatever you want to call it. The Zombot arc is in the current progress of being basically concluded. And one of the issues, I think, because I think this whole thing started around 26, 27, 22 of the issues, or at least one of them, is going to be held off. I think 28 or 29 was supposed to conclude it, so yeah, they're going to have to wait another additional month. And there's a lot of people of the Sonic fan base that, well, one, never liked the move to IDW because, where's the Freedom Fighters? Where's Sally? Where's Bunny? Where's Antoine and all that? Even though the guy that's the main writer, or mainly associated with the IDW book, from a writing perspective, said, oh yeah, we're going to try to get them in. We haven't seen them yet. The point is, folks, that that story arc is going to be held up for at least another month or two from concluding before they get into new stuff. And a lot of people pretty much feel the same way that Neon does about the comic book industry. Like, this could be the nail in the coffin of the IDW Sonic book, because from when it started off great, profitably, but now it's dropped off to the point that IDW should just cut the losses and let Sonic go to someone else. Maybe go back to Archie, who knows. But again, it's not the only one. Like I said, you got this crossover that's going to be held up for about a month or two, so it's going to be really, really interesting time if you're a comic book fan. But Yeah, it all depends. But yeah, I think it just I think we just kind of, as I say in a lot of my videos and podcasts or whatever you want to call them, we'll just have to wait and see and go from there. But I think honestly we're going to be okay. I think honestly, as a comic book, as a genre, and as an industry, a business overall, I think comic books are going to be. I think everything's going to be okay. I think retailers are going to be okay. I think publications are going to be okay. I think they're going to be fine. Again, I think when it comes to guys like Neon of Clownfish TV and John of the John Campa Show, they're just giving their opinions of what they see possibly taking place, not now, but in the future, like in a few years, what the impact could be. So that's really what I think they see happening, and that's why they're talking about it right now. So, but anyway, though, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. What do you think? What do you think of this whole situation right now? And do you think this will have a positive or negative impact in the future? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. I am out.